Interpretation of verse 165 of Surah Al-Imran. It is reported that Ibn Abbas told from the words of Umar al-Khattab, on the day of the Battle of Badr, the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, looked at his companions, there were over 300 people. Then he looked at the pagans, there were more than 1,000 of them. Then the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, turned his face to the Qibla and raised his hands up. Then he was only wearing an upper cape and a veil encircling him. He said, "O God, where is what you promised me? O God, fulfill what you promised me. O God, if you destroy this group of Muslims, then no one will worship on earth." He continued to pray to the great and mighty Lord for salvation and called to him until his cloak fell off him. And then Abu Bakr came to him, picked up his cloak, and put it on him. He stood behind him and then said, "O Prophet of Allah, it is enough for you to call on your Lord. Indeed, he will fulfill his promise to you." And then the great and mighty Allah sent down the verse, "So you asked your Lord for help, and he answered you, I will help you with 1,000 angels, following each other." When on that day the two armies converged on the battlefield, the great and mighty Allah crushed the pagans. 70 of them were killed, and another 70 were captured. Interpretation of verse 169 of Surah Al-Imran. It is reported from the words of Ibn Abbas that the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, "When your brothers died in the battle of Uhud, the great and mighty Allah placed their souls inside green birds that fly to the rivers of paradise, eat fruits of paradise and return to the golden lanterns in the shadow of the throne. When they saw how beautiful their drink, food and place of return were, they said, 'Oh, that our brothers knew about what Allah has prepared for us.' Then the great and mighty Allah said, 'I will inform them about it for you.' So the great and mighty Allah sent down to his messenger, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, 'Do not in any way consider dead those who were killed in the way of Allah. No, they are alive and receive their provision from their Lord.'" This hadith was narrated by Ahmad, Abu Dawud, Al-Hakim and others, and Sheikh Muqbil declared it authentic due to the evidence confirming it. In another hadith it is reported that Jabir Abdullah said, "The Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, met me and asked, 'O Jabir, why do you look broken?' I said, 'O Messenger of Allah, my father fell on the battlefield and left children and debt.' He said, 'Shall I please you with the news of how Allah met your father?' 'Of course please, O Messenger of Allah,' I replied. He said, 'Whoever Allah spoke to, it was through a veil. When Allah revived your father, he spoke to him without a veil and without intermediaries. He said to him, "Ask me for whatever you wish, and I will grant you." He said, "Lord, resurrect me so that I can die for you once more." Then the Most High and All-Good Lord said, "I have already said before that they will not return there." And then the verse was revealed, "Do not by any means consider dead those who were killed in the path of Allah." This hadith was narrated by At-Tirmidhi and Ibn Majah, and Sheikh Muqbil called it good because of the evidence that confirms it. These hadiths refer to the martyrs who died in the Battle of Uhud.